insane. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, it's an insane hill, all uphill. I'm using the leveler, and boy, it's insane. It's insane. But we're back on. Let's go. The uphill climb on this bike is insanity. State bikes aren't really that great when it comes to uphills. Declines are very fast. Corners fast. Regular roads fine. But these main roads, Jesus Christ. It's insane. I may have to turn back around because I'm out of actual bike lanes. So let's see. Coming back soon. A lot of hills. A lot of hills. All right. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna take a main road on the HERO9. As you can see, there are bike lanes. I try to abide by the law as much as possible. There are shared streets here. The issue is a lot of roads are closed. As you can see, it's a lot of hills where I live. A lot of them. And this state bike in particular doesn't really handle uphill that great. I'm trying, but I'm very, very tired. I may turn back around because it's too much sun. And it's about 94 degrees outside today. So I may end up having to cut over. So let's just do that. As you can see, I'm going down this road because I didn't want to go uphill again. I've already gone over 6 hills this entire ride. I've only gone roughly 7 miles, maybe. If that. I should have just walked today with the GoPro, to be completely honest. But here we are. A lot of roads closed. My particular state needs to do a little bit better with bike lanes on side streets. This is nice to have an open road. The issue being uphills. Uphills are insane here. Very insane. But we will be right back. So I'm currently going downhill. I'm going to use what I'm currently using, which is activity mode. Activity mode with the GoPro. It's nice because you can use super wide, and you can also use the boost that allows you to have image stability when it comes to riding, especially, which is good for me on the bike because I'm always on a bumpy road. I'm gonna go downhill using activity in 4K at 30 frames a second, hoping that it shows everything when it comes to this GoPro Hero. I won't talk through it so you can actually hear the sounds, the ambient noise in the background, as well as the speed. I'm gonna go roughly 12 to 15 miles per hour. So that was that. I'm going across the road. Again, hills everywhere we go. When it comes to this particular GoPro, it handles it great with this image stability. I know I just completely tanked that term. Image stabilization, I'm sorry. Again, going uphill. There are a lot of homes that are for sale in my neighborhood, which is great because we are currently house hunting. The issue is, since it is a seller's market, A lot of the stuff that's for sale is crap, to be completely honest. So as you can see, I'm about to go downhill, so I want to try going downhill again, but this time I want to try with a different mode. So right now we're going to go in cinematic 4K 30 frames per second with image stability again. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I tanked image stability because I think I'm developing a lisp in my old age, but here we go. Usually I take the back road, which is 2 more hills, which is more calories burned for me. And I'm gonna watch it because there are a lot of cars that come out on each side. Luckily with the GoPro, you're able to move to the right with this camera that I'm using, so I can easily turn that way and turn again, which is great. But you have to use a third-party accessory that I purchased on Amazon, and it seems to do the trick. So this is me going roughly about 14 miles an hour with my GoPro, and you see there's a car coming. The home that I wanted was on my right, and it sold for $62,000 over market value, which is very interesting in itself. I'm sure you didn't really need to know that, but alas. Again, that was cinematic. I wanted to go around the turn to just show how cinematic things can be with this GoPro. I'm sure it would be better in actual action sports, but for me, simply riding my bike, it is pretty good. Hey there, so this is Greg again with Gear Diary. This right now I'm shooting in cinematic 4K 240 frames per second. I believe it says 240. I have to go and double check that just to make sure that I'm saying it accurately. I'm going to get back on the bike. Currently my battery is roughly 68%. I have videoed in 4K, well, I've recorded in 4K for roughly 18 to 20 minutes. And as you can see, I'm facing my camera. Luckily, GoPro allows you to have a front-facing video, which is pretty dope. The camera lens itself, I do have covered with a glass screen protector, just in the event that, you know, it drops or I have a bike crash or something of that magnitude. As you can see, you know, it does capture in cinematic a lot, you know, facing to the left of my bike as well as the right, hoping that I don't get any addresses. My apologies if I do. The battery itself is nice. The memory card is good. It's telling me that I have about 8 hours of recording time, which is great. That gives me enough for, honestly, if I wanted to go on a bike ride or go hiking, I could probably record in 4K for roughly 3.5 of those 8 hours. I just don't think 4K would last with this battery life, because right now, I told you, 20 minutes, I went from 100% to 68% filming in 4K. And I'm doing roughly 1 minute to 2 minute clips per. So let's just hope that, you know, when I get to this next video, I'm gonna do slow-mo. Slow-mo at 1080p, 240. Let's see how that works. We'll be back. We're currently filming in activity mode, 4K, 30 frames per second. Let's see how this goes. We're gonna go downhill for this one because I'm tired. I'm very tired. I've been filming for the past hour and a half trying to get somewhat decent footage, avoiding, honestly, a deer. That's why I didn't go the way that I came, as well as, honestly, just taking a break, ladies and gentlemen. So again, this is me going downhill. Strava is only telling me I'm going about 7 miles per hour, which it could be true. Now it's saying I'm going 20. Strava is dangerously inaccurate when it comes to speed, so be careful when you're reading Strava. You see there's a hill inbound. I will not be taking that. I will be taking the back route to avoid these hills. Again, that was activity mode, 4K, 30 frames per second. So again, I'm doing this is activity mode at 1080p 240, like I was doing on the bike ride earlier. As you can see, this is my local park. I'm currently about 11 miles into the bike ride. took some shots for my review of my state bike. Shout out to State Bicycle for the bike I'm currently reviewing. That will be in a review as well. The GoPro, particularly the one that I'm using, this GoPro HERO9, I'm very impressed with it, mainly due to the fact that I've never used a GoPro. I've used 2 knockoffs from Amazon. I won't say their names, and I have been in a position where I've seen GoPros be used for skiing, horseback riding, and my father actually uses his as well. What I couldn't tell you, he's not the most active person, but my GoPro that I plan on using it for going forward is everything. It's a nice pocket camera to use for when I'm reviewing products, taking photos, and I don't want to carry around my phone, which is absolutely fantastic. Then when it comes to actually using for my bike rides, I do like it. There are accessories that you have to buy that I personally would just go to Amazon and buy them, because GoPro's products themselves and their accessories are on the pricier side, which I'm not too fond of. So I try to get third party that are highly rated on Amazon. And the reason why I do that, I bought a C-Ski bike mount, which cost me maybe $12 on Amazon, that I'm currently using, and I enjoy. It's actually a part of this review here. But overall, when it comes to GoPro, I've been very, very impressed. I haven't had a chance to really deal with the iOS app. Sorry, I got cut off for a second, but I haven't had a chance to actually use the GoPro app that comes. Sorry, there's bugs and everything around here, and I'm sweating, so go figure. But with the GoPro specifically, I do like the touchscreen capabilities as well as the front screen camera. That is huge for me, because as a podcaster, and eventually I want to go on Twitch and live stream and things of that nature, it'd be great to actually record myself from a camera, see that I'm looking at you guys. Currently I have glasses on. There's a reason for that, be it outside. But when I do want to record my content, it's nice to be able to see the viewer. I love that. It's great to know that, you know what, I'm in frame, I'm looking right ways, I'm going and showing off my surroundings to you guys as I'm recording. One caveat to me personally, when it comes to the actual GoPro camera, has to be the battery life. You figure it's something you can throw in your back pocket, so the battery's not going to last long. But if you're shooting in high res, say, 4K, 1080p at a certain frame rate, the battery is going to die fast. So I would have to carry 2 batteries, possibly 3, if I'm going on a long, extensive bike ride that I want to mount my bike with the GoPro and record, especially in 4K. Shout out to MKBHD. I know for a fact that he shoots in 4K for everything. I would love to do the same thing, and GoPro gives me that capability. I'm not the biggest action sports individual, but I do heavily enjoy using my GoPro. I plan on using it for the future. I plan on using it for things such as my daughter's birthday. When I take her to the park, it's nice to, get away from the phone, not have your iPhone in your pocket or on your side, just honestly capturing moments. I would tell anybody who's listening to possibly buy the highest capable mini SD card, because that's going to matter the most when it comes to recording. I personally use 256 gigs, but I think this goes up to 500 or maybe a terabyte. I'm not sure. I will go and fact check that later, but I do enjoy the fact that I can actually record with a high, compatible SD card. I just say to anybody, please just go and, don't get the 64, don't get 128, because by the time you start filming in 1080p and 4K, you're going to want more storage. And the more you record, you may actually forget that you have files on your GoPro. I've noticed that myself. I've forgotten the fact that I do have items sitting on my GoPro. So do not forget to check your SD card after. Maybe plug in the GoPro after you go on a bike ride or a hike or any sports and activities that you do, and just check the memory card to make sure that 1, the file is there, and 2, make sure that you can convert that file. The higher resolution means that you may or may not end up having adequate footage. It might not work. It's like my iPhone that does HEIV. I think this does the higher the resolution, it has a file that can only be recognized on certain platforms and certain OS systems, such as I think Mac High Sierra for some. So just be mindful of that when you do record in higher resolutions. With that being said, I'm going to get back to this bike ride.